Hey TikTok, this is Apostle Ely. We are live. I'm excited about tonight. This is something hey there, as you come in, chime in. All right, Miss Smith. Y'all been ready to go. All right. Remember, as you come in, make sure you're putting your zodiac sign in, and we're gonna be talking about manifesting a sober mind tonight. And I am excited about this. I have some work that I was doing. I want to say also to everyone that has been a part of this. I did get your emails. I checked some of the emails. I didn't get to all of the emails. I had a lot of emails I had to go through. Some of you all wanted me to set up the consultation. I'll get that taken care of. And those that wanted the candle that we were doing in the church, I got some of that done. But I'm waiting on the rest of it to get done. I haven't went through all my emails, so bear with me. Aries in the house, that's what I'm talking about. Make sure you put your zodiac sign in as my moderators get in here. We are about to get busy with some of this information and get this knowledge out. And the purpose of getting this information out is for us to do better. My incense burning. Taurus, thank you so much. Glad to have you here. Anybody here in my live for the first time as you coming in? So you have basically, I want everybody to know that are coming in my lives, you must be grown. When I say grown, you got to be 18 years or older. Hello, thank you so much for being with us. Make sure, if you are not 18 years or older, you cannot be in my live. My lives are for grown people. People that are practicing their spirituality, whatever that spirituality may be. Gemini, come on, come through. So when we talk about manifesting a sober mind, we got to have clarity. Cancer here. My Cancer is in the house. My first moderator. I'm waiting for the rest of them to come in. But listen, guys, I am really excited about what has been happening. Not only for the people that have been contacting me through my YouTube channel, also you guys that have been inboxing me. Let me tell you something. If you really want to grow, this is the live that you need to be in. I think that a lot of people are gaining a lot of information, but I want you to go beyond gaining information. I want you to actually apply the knowledge that you're getting so your life is better. It's nothing wrong with getting information just to have a conversation piece, but that's not my purpose. My purpose of even coming here and giving you information that most people pay for from me is to allow you to be better. They say to know better is to do better. Now, one of the things, I'm going to show you guys some stuff now, once again, because I see a lot of them chiming in. Listen, you're not 18 years or older, you cannot be in my live, okay? Post your zodiac sign, and I'm going to start dropping this knowledge. Now, want to say this as well. Even though I'm based in the Christian faith, I respect every form of religion. I look at religion or traditions or spirituality as Leo. Thank you so much, Aquarius. Leo, come through. Virgo, that's what I'm talking about. And what I want you to understand, our bloodline and how we practice our spirituality is an individual thing. A lot of times when we get around other people, we try to incorporate other people's traditions or pantheons. You don't need to do that. What I teach here is universal. It doesn't matter who you are, what your religious background or spiritual background, you can utilize this information to better yourself. God is better than some zodiac sign. Now here you come. Now, whoever this young lady is about God is better than zodiac sign. If you really studied your Bible, you will understand that there's a system of knowledge that has been set up, whether you believe in it or not. There are some people that don't believe in the devil. Some people don't believe in God. There are some people that don't believe in you. Systems that are set up are for our benefit, whether we utilize them or not. There are people that don't believe in the traditional educational system, so they go through homeschool. They're called systems. My name is Sharon. Now, Sharon, what I would like you to do if you're a very good Christian woman is to respect my life. If you do not believe in what I am doing, you're more than happy to dismiss yourself. Now, I would like you to stay so you can at least give me an opportunity to share my particular perception on it. Yes, thank you so much. Now that's wisdom. That what you're saying is, okay, we're gonna give her some space, okay? What you're doing is what I taught last night. You're trying to bully or push your own beliefs on other people. And what I tell people that it's a difference between being bold and being courageous and being a bully. And most people learn how to bully people into the way that they believe or think from church. And that's why we have so much disrespect and people walking away from the church world. You do not have to practice what I practice or practice my faith the way that I practice. But if you do, you would like to please respect other people's view. I will continue. Now, manifesting a sober mind. The reason why I asked for many of you all to share your zodiac signs is to allow us to understand our own personal energy. Yes, because the reason why I say that you're bullying, is because I did not, and no one in this live asked you for your opinion. You came into a live to hear whatever I am doing. Okay? If you do not want to, if you go to a restaurant, you don't like what they serve, you leave. You go to a department store, you don't like what they have, you leave. You do not try to go and change the management or the structure of that particular business. And out of respect, if you had any, for any personal of difference, then what you would come in to listen. If you disagree, then you would, just like you came in this live, you would depart. Okay? And I am, thank you for, let's see. Paper floats. Okay. Now, we're going to continue. Please mute her. Manifesting a sober mind is this. We're going to start with 2 Timothy 1:7. It says, "For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind." Mental stability is very important. A lot of times in most practices that we have learned to be told what to think, what to believe, what to how to function, what's right, what's wrong. And what I am trying to do is get us to a place when we say manifesting only means simply just displaying or making known to something or someone or someplace. We have to get to the point that we can be sober-minded in how we deal with one another. And the reason why I open up this live to all different types of people, not because I thought that everybody was going to come in and believe what I believe. I am here interested in manifesting a sober way of having discourse, even with people that you don't believe, or you not. Maybe I'm not shouldn't use the word not believe. People that prefer to do or practice a different way other than what you were raised or what you are accustomed to or what you are comfortable in. I remember years ago I had a friend, and we all grow up with certain prejudice, to give you an understanding of what I'm saying about sober-minded. And one of my friends, she came to me and she offered me a bagel with blue cheese. Me being Southern black, I grew up on soul food. I immediately said, I don't eat that type of food. I don't eat that white people food. This is about being sober-minded. So she said, Sam, she said, you don't even know. She said, have you ever had a bagel with blue cheese? I said, no. She said, well, how can you dislike something you never had? I said, that's fair. So she said, what you try a little piece. Okay. The moral to the story, I've been eating bagels ever since. Because I was not raised with a certain type of belief. I wasn't eating a certain type of food. I automatically rejected it until I had my own personal experience. And the reason why I want to talk about manifesting soberness and the things that I practice, I come from a very African based belief system. And I practice my spirituality the way that I practice it. Okay? So the reason why this is important is because when it comes to spirituality, a lot of times they tell us, and especially in scripture, saying, put on the whole armor of God. Well, a lot of us do not have the whole armor of God on. A lot of us do not have mental stability. a lot of us have preconceived ideas about people, places, and things. One of the things that I have learned that caused me to grow is to keep a very open mind. And when I was able to open my mind, I realized that a lot of times people do things very differently, but does not mean that they are not reaching the same goal that I was reaching. Same thing when we talk about being in school. Many of us get to different professions very differently. Some of us go to school, we stay in school, and we go all the way through to college, get our degree, and then get a job, a career, or start our own business. There's other people that come in and they manifest and they say, you know what, I go to school, I'm gonna get a trade, and then I'm going to go on and start my business or work for somebody. The reason why this is important to a lot of people that come into my life, because they want to understand what it is about manifesting a sober mind, being rational in our thinking. A lot of times, me personally, when it comes to my personal practice, is that I realize that people have preconceived ideas of how God moves, how the spirit world works, how other people are supposed to behave. Because if we come up in a traditional way, or what we call traditional, I'm going to say this, what we call traditional, then a lot of times what happens is that we start rejecting things without allowing other people to actually see why we believe the way that we believe. A lot of people have preconceived ideas mentally about money, about relationships, about different races. This is why we have to come to the point of being able to be sober-minded. One of the reasons why I particularly chose not to block and ban people from our lives is because we have to learn in a society like this, up under these types of stereotypes, of how to communicate with people that we may not agree with, or we may not even practice the way that they practice, but we can also learn how someone else may get a healing. Somebody else may get their prayers answered. We can't be so closed-minded and to tell somebody, well, that's not right. It's only not right to you because you don't have that experience. I'm going to say that again. When I began on my journey and I came to a conclusion of understanding that I had to be more open-minded, not only to what I had experienced of God, but what God has to offer. Why is this important? Because if you limit the way that you think and way you believe, but yet declare to other people that God is all powerful and God is all knowing, then you're still limiting what He has the ability to operate. Case in point, if all you had around your life was oak trees, you would have a preconceived idea what to expect from a tree. If you never seen an apple tree, I remember going to Virginia and seeing the apple trees and the peach trees and how they flourish. This is why this is important, because if you're confining your mind or confining your way of thinking to a particular area or a particular group of people, then there's no way that you could actually experience the fullness of God. That makes sense? So this is why I choose to go in this direction. In spite of, because let me tell you something, every time I have a live, I have different types of people that walk in, and they have their own way of thinking. I've told many people, if any of you guys have ever seen the movie Karate Kid, and a lot of times people come around, especially in my church, and I always tell them, I say, go watch the movie Karate Kid. And the reason why I said that is because when Daniel said that he wanted to learn karate, oh, my son's here. Thank you so much for joining us. When Daniel wanted to learn karate, he wanted to learn from Miyagi, but he had a preconceived idea what karate was. Karate is a way of life. Me personally, I understand that spirituality is a way of life. You may choose a different vehicle to practice your spirituality. Those religions, whether it's Christianity, whether it's Buddhism, whether it's Judaism, whatever it may be, it is still a vehicle. But your true spirituality is who you are. It is what you were born with and what you it's like right now, I'm just using this hypothetically. I work for UPS. If I leave UPS and I go to FedEx, even though it is in the same type of business. They have a different way of functioning. But I would take my same talent and I would function very differently in one company than I would another, not because I'm a different person, but there are different rules and regulations and also mottos or goals from these different companies. This is why, thank you so much, Sharana, for joining in. This is why this is so important. I wanted to deal with something. You'll make it. Yeah, definitely. I'll make less for sure. But it's the concept of, and I think that's also a good point. The information that we are open to is based on who we are around. And it can also be limited or expanded by who we associate with. And the reason why we have to be sober-minded, sober means this. I wrote it down. It means calm and collected, to have a good sense of judgment, wisdom, and level-headed in times of stress. When we want to display or manifest sober-minded, the first thing that I think of is if I'm praying for something. I used this example before. If you pray and ask God to grant you a diamond, and the diamond came in the form of a coal, would you reject it because of the packaging? Because you didn't have an understanding that that diamond was inside the coal. If you prayed to God and said, well, God, bless me with a pearl, and a clam showed up, would you reject it because mentally you were expecting the finished product? But God brought you the raw product. And a lot of times when it comes to spirituality, that we may have experienced are already pretty packaged. But when we ask for God to manifest certain things in our life, it may come in the raw state. Come on here, somebody. So this is why it is so very, very important that we understand that when we start associating with different circles and different people and different belief, and they have their own belief, their own state of mind. I didn't get on YouTube or TikTok or any social media to be accepted. What I got on here to do is show you my version of what I have experienced with God that I say I serve. And I have history behind me. When I ask you to do something and you disagree with it, it is not because I'm making you do something. It is that if I have one friend, he's from Indian descent. In their culture, you must take off your shoes to enter into their house. Well, I didn't grow up that way. But why would I disrespect their custom or their culture because it's not something that I was raised up to do? And a lot of times we're so small-minded, or our mind is so contracted or narrow that because it makes us feel a certain type of way. So why would I have to take off my shoes to go into their house? Hello, Taurus. Thank you so much for coming in. Why would I have to do that? Well, it was requested. And if I respect my friend, if I respect their customs, then that's what I do. Now, do I do that when I go back home? No. But when I'm in Rome, I behave and conduct myself when I'm in Rome. We have to be sober-minded enough that even if we're not going to participate in certain activities, we can be respectable to each other in what we practice, where we don't have to disrupt or go in and try to bully other people to look at things from our perspective. We have to be open-minded enough to say, you know what? I still, after hearing everything or seeing everything you do, I still choose not to practice my spirituality that way. And you know what? That is fine. And we can still remain friends, because at the core of any spirituality, at the core of any belief, we must love one another. And that love will make me respect you regardless of how you practice your spirituality. Whatever tools. Good evening to you, Brother Johnny. Thank you so much for coming in. Let me tell y'all something. I'm a lover of people. And they have this song, people are the same way wherever you go. We have to learn how to deal with disagreeable people. Some people have learned that their communication is all about disruption, impressing their beliefs, their values on other people. I've told you all before, I have studied the Bible. we have dealt with the original context. I didn't come on here tonight to argue. I came on tonight to share information of how to manifest the spirit of sober mind, which means I'm cool, I'm calm, and I'm collected. When I came on here, I already prayed for protection. I already asked God to move by his spirit and by his power. And when people, because they are expecting other people to see God the way they see God. We have 4 gospels in the Bible, and they all describe this same Son of God in very different ways, because he can be very different to one person versus the next. That doesn't make the book of John incorrect when it comes to the book of Luke, or the book of Luke incorrect when it comes to the book of Matthew, or the book of Matthew incorrect when it comes to the book of Mark. These are people seeing God from a different version, perception, experience. There are people that have never lived a life above $100,000. Then there are other people who have never lived a life anything beneath 100,000. But can you deny their experience because they come from different spaces? This is why I am African based. I'm going to say that again. I have a strong belief in my particular spirituality. I don't mind talking, discussing any form of religion, because people have their own pathways. I personally believe that God feels all things, and God chooses to use. Sometimes when you have a hard time dealing with people, sometimes God gives you the love for animals, and he teaches you love through dealing with animals. I love people, so God don't need to use an animal to teach me how to love and to take care of somebody unconditionally. You see what I'm saying? We all have our different paths. So then we have James 1:8. I want to talk about this. I have an incense that I burned. Thank you so much. It's called mental clarity. And we're going to talk about something tonight. If you got questions, you're more than welcome to ask the question. It says, he is double-minded and unstable in all his ways. A lot of times when I'm praying or trying to pray for people or dealing with people, I am realizing that people do not come into God with a well-made up mind or a goal, a desire, or a need. Some people do not even believe that God is a healer. A lot of people do not believe God is a protector. They will say these things, but if you watch their life, you can tell by the decisions that they make, the way that they think, the things that come out of their mouth, that they don't believe like that. To be double-minded means that one minute you're saying one thing and then you contradict it with another. One minute you're saying, yes, I'm going to do it. And then the next minute you're saying it's too much. I always tell people this. Sit down first and count up the cost. What I mean by that is, before you ask God for a 4-bedroom house, be realistic with yourself and say, well, what am I doing what God has blessed me with now? Do I have the capability? Do I have the mental capacity to deal with change? I see people that want more money, but then they don't want to work hard. But then how can that money come in unless you're going to have a real problem coming into my life? I'm going to say this again. Out of respect for what we are doing here in this particular live, there are millions of other people that you agree with, and that's the live you need to be in. Charlie or Charlin Fan 1, please. You have 44 following and 8 followers. This is not the live for you. Apparently Jesus ain't king enough in your life. This is why I'm saying that we have to be mentally sober. because people are mentally disturbed, that they cannot hold a conversation that even if they disagree with, they can't communicate even if they disagree with, and respect other people's way of life. What if somebody made a decision to be a part of something preach the right word? I'm educated and I'm degreed. What you need to do, sir, is stop disrespecting yourself, because you are mentally disturbed and you're double-minded and you need attention. And you are a weak-minded person to think that you can come up into my life and tell me what to speak, what to preach. You're ignorant. Yes. Oh, it does mean something. It also means this, that if you choose to walk, thank you so much, moderator. This is what I'm talking about. This is how we have to be sober-minded. You're not cool, you're not calm, and you're not collected. I don't serve God the way you do. I would never serve God, because I would never go into somebody else's business, somebody else's establishment, somebody else's life and try to tell them how to run their life, whether I would do it or not. This is why I do not get into trouble and conflict with other people. A lot of us, I am so serious about this. We have to stop just going to church. We got to just stop talking about we love God. We got to stop just saying that we praying, because there's something mentally wrong with people that feel like they have a right. I had a phone call today, and people would involve themselves in somebody else's situation. People would literally come out their house and go and get involved with somebody. That's somebody that is mentally disturbed. And when I tell you all, especially in my ministry, that you all need mental clarity and protection, because a lot of people, you will be succeeding in your business and they will come into your business and try to disrupt your success. They will come into your marriage and try to disrupt your harmony. They will come into your establishment and try to throw a wrench in it, and they themselves are not successful. I have successful children. I have a successful life. I am coming here. I have a successful TikTok. I succeed in life because I am mentally sound. I base my beliefs off of facts, science, and truth. I have an understanding. I have prayed for people and they have got healed. I have prayed for people and they got delivered. I am not out here telling people my opinions. I am sharing a thought process of understanding what it is to be sober-minded. We are living in a time that if you guys don't see what's going on and you're not anointing yourself, oh, thank you so much, Monique. You must be 18 years or older to be on my live. I talk very direct, and I say a lot of things that other people, because if you can't handle what I'm saying, you're not going to be able to handle when I start showing you my oils and my incense and all this other stuff I got here. So if you agree with him, then you need to be on his live, because he only have 8 followers. So if you follow him, then he can have 9. I got more than 9. So be good. Take care of that moderator. God don't believe in sage. Who made sage? And I'm using Palo Santos, not sage. Okay. Anyway, so now what I'm going to say when I say sober-minded, being knowledgeable about what you practice, being knowledgeable about what you do, being knowledgeable about why you do what you do. So when other people come in and say that Jesus is king, but these same people will watch other people be dishonored, disrespected, these same people, Apostle, we will mute them, just ignore them so we can get. Okay, thank you so much, sweetheart. These same people, I got to say this though, because these people that say they are of Christ, they're rude, they're disrespectful, they project their own beliefs on other people, they create accounts to try to cause problems in people's lives. And that has nothing to do with the love of God, has nothing to do with spirituality. Thank you so much. Now, a double-minded man is going to say, why is this important? Because these are the things that we all are operating in, and these are the things that we deal with. They just need attention. I know. I don't mind giving them some attention. I think that the reason why I'm stopping what I'm doing, because this is things that we all deal with in our lives. And when people come into our lives, we still have to learn how to deal with them. It's so easy to ignore people. It's so easy to distance ourselves from people. And then we never resolve the issues that are at hand, because these people have been taught this type of behavior out of the church. A lot of these people did not learn how to behave like this actually from home. They also learn from other, what we call good Christian people. If you go to a buffet, Mario Dawkins, I don't know who you are. Hold on. Okay. If we go to a buffet, there are many things on a buffet style, and there's certain vegetables and certain entrees that are on there. And we have to be sober-minded that we can go to that buffet, look at that buffet, get what that pleases us, pleasures us, or entices us. And because there are things on that buffet we do not eat, we can't get rid of. Can I ask a question? Yes, you can. You're more than welcome to ask a question. Ask your question. That's what I'm here for. Alex, ask your question. Are you 18? Yes, I believe. Do you have any understanding that Jesus Christ was a black man? These people are so jealous. Thank you. So when we get, if y'all can try to save questions. Okay, thank you so much. All right, so what the main thing is that I want to share with you all. There's different tools that I personally use, and I anoint myself and to keep a stable mind, a focused mind. And the reason why that I'm able to be successful in my life is because I have learned how to repel negativity. I have learned how to communicate with disruptive people. I do it at my job. I do it in church. I do it in different various of aspects of my life. One of the things that I hope that you all understand why we need certain protections, because these are the type of people that not only we're gonna find in church, we're gonna find these people in the grocery stores, we're gonna find these people at the laundromat, we're gonna find these people on our jobs. We're gonna find these people in many various of things. Now, the Lord is going to have, now what I'm gonna show you, well, let me show you this first. I have this. So if you really think that I'm on this to play games, you really think I'm here to play games, then you are definitely in the wrong place. So let me just show you a little stuff that I'm going to be talking about protecting my mind. And I'm going to show you what I use to protect my mind. So I'm just giving you an opportunity to leave now before I show you the rest of the stuff. Besides the mental clarity. Okay? Now, the reason why I teach you about protecting your mental stability, you can't just say that God protect my mental mind. We are made of different spirit, soul, and body. Many of us operate in the spirit. Many of us have a spirit that possesses a soul that lives in a body. Many of us do not learn that in church. We say we pray to God, which is an invisible God. So what I have done and what I do for my personal self is that I use things that represent my head, represent my mind. As I told many of you all, I practice from a concept of understanding that all is mine. He said, let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. Many people do not have what we would call the mind of God or the God mind, because we don't realize that energy follows thought. So how we think, how we function, the scripture says, so a man thinketh, so is he. So inside me, I utilize certain things that represent my mind, and I pray over those things, and I utilize certain herbs, I utilize certain oils in order to be able to protect my mind. So this is what I teach in my personal church. I teach them how to protect themselves, that when they leave out of the comfort of their home, thank you, Taurus, for coming in. When they leave, when they come in, they begin to realize Mario is brother Mario. Thank you so much. Get it, Tree. When we pray and we utilize these tools, that when we walk out of our homes, out of our comfort zone, we become protected. Yeah, we know that's not him. It's okay. I know who Brother Mario is. But this is the things that reason why it is important for us to know how to protect ourselves even when we walk out the comfort of our own home. And so therefore, when we utilize our spiritual tools, when these people start seeing stuff happen in their life and God go to moving against these people because they disrespect our spirituality, then after a while, not right then, but after God gets through moving in their life, they'll find out who the real Christ is. They're going to find out who God is really speaking to, and they're going to find out who God is really dealing with. Because when you actually understand that your mind is fully persuaded, as the scripture said, when your mind is fully persuaded who you serve, why you do what you do, then you do not look for other people to validate you. Now, my belief, my faith is not about being validated by other people. What I do is I share information, and people have a choice called free will to practice their spirituality any way they want to, because they were made in God's image and after God's likeness. Now, what I'm about to do is show you how I protect my mind. What I'm about to show you is the different herbs that I use, the different oils that I use, and I consecrate. And so therefore, when I go out in the world, I really understand that I have the helmet of salvation on. So it is able to deflect anything that tries to invade my mind. Now, you have people that cast spells. You have people that carry a chaotic energy. Hey, how you doing, sweetie? Welcome. Thank you for coming back to the live. Pisces in the house. Now, the reason why I showed them this, because they need to understand that I don't believe in what they believe in. So I already basically placed a hole in there. This is no different than somebody, Catholics burn candles in church and they light and they anoint it with oil, or they use the censer to, because frankincense clears, removes negativity. Myrrh does it as well. Also, it has health benefits. But I'm using tonight, I am going to use pine oil. And I'm going to pour this oil in the candle, because we're about to show them something. Now, I also use benzoin oil. Then I'm pouring it while I'm talking to you guys, because I don't want to overflow in here. And I have this, what I call my mercury powder. And then I place this powder inside this candle. And the reason why I use black, because black repels all negativity. Now, many of you all know that you go around people on your job, you go around people in your business world, you know you deal with different types of people, and they disturb your peace. No matter how hard you try to reject the thoughts that they're projecting, they disturb your peace. If you understand the science behind colors, you will understand that black repels negativity, negative emotions, negative thought forms, negativity in general. And then the image is the skull, which is my mind. And I use this as a representation, the same way that the prophets used the stick. God told them to take the two sticks. One represented Judah, and the other one represented Jerusalem. And he told him to bind those sticks together. Now, same concept. The Bible always teaches us different ways of how to get the job done. When the man lost the axe head, Elijah, the man of God, threw a stick in there and the axe head floated to the top. So what I want to show you is what I do, me on a personal level. I use this particular candle and I place my mercury powder, which mercury represents the mind. I wrote down here, hold on, to show y'all something. I got it all here. If you have clove, thank you for the fire. If you have clove, C-L-O-V-E, clove, you can burn clove, and clove will clear your mind. Vanilla, some people get vanilla, not vanilla, I said the vanilla bean. Vanilla strengthens the mental abilities. Sage, mentally clear, for mental clarity. It pushes stuff out, shows you the path. Benzoin dispels anger, negativity, relieves stress, anxiety, promotes concentration, promotes generosity, success in intellectual matters. Amber, which is pine, is for mental clarity, focus, and it transmutes negative energy into positive energy. If you can also utilize Capricorn in the house. That's them again. Anyway, rosemary improves memory and helps you complete tasks. Mint, I have that. I have mint oil. It's for energy, communication, and vitality. And basil is for productivity. Thank you so much for the fire. Now, some people use essential oil. Some people only use olive oil. Some people only use juniper oil. Well, thank you so very much. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so very much for the fire and for the love. And the reason why I am sharing, thank you so much. The reason why I'm sharing this information is the more tools that we have at our disposal, the more we can strengthen our mental abilities. The more we can spend. That's Mario, Daddy. Where? He changed his tree. Who is where? That's Mario. Where? Mario Dog? Okay. Oh, that's okay. All right. I'm making. Are you sure that's Mario Dawkins? Mario Dawkins 212. Oh, he at work. Okay. All right. I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't want to add him as, okay, he's at work. There you go. Okay. So there you go. I hope I did that right. Thank you so much for the fire. Okay. Thank you. I'm trusting you. All right. So there you go. So I have him in there. So now listen, when you want mental clarity, there are certain things that come from nature that will enhance certain things about your mental abilities and allow you to keep a clear head up under pressure. And a lot of us know that many people have, especially if they got to go to court or they're dealing with something, some type of legality, a lot of times the mental pressure breaks people more than just actually going through dealing with what they're dealing with. Being overwhelmed with bills and being overwhelmed in a situation where people are sick. A lot of times people are trying to pray and ask God for healing, but mentally they're just not there. And that's why that is important. A lot of times you have to understand that there's certain things, spiritual tools that you have at your disposal that allow you to be able to go in and help other people or help yourself protect your mind, your state of mind. And when I go out into this wild, wild world, these are some of the things. Now, as you see right here, okay. Now, what I'm going to do is seal this off. So when I burn this, I already consecrated it. Okay, there it is. Now, I already consecrated it before I got on here. The reason why I'm telling many of you all this, we have to learn how to manifest sober-minded. I personally do not burn a lot of sage because sage disperses too much of the energy. I like to burn Palo Santos. I like mint. I like to anoint myself with different things. I anoint the top of my head. I anoint my third eye, and I anoint the back of my head. I try to protect the parameters of my mind. So when you're going out among, and let me tell you this, you might not agree with me with this, but I believe we have to get to the point where we can deal with people that are mentally challenged. And we have to be rooted and grounded in our beliefs that we don't get unnerved emotionally. We don't get angry. We understand where those people are. And when people don't have goals in their life and people don't have certain ambitions and people don't have bigger fish to fry, they have time for folly. But you got to deal with all types of people. A lot of times in real life, you can't pick and choose who's going to come through the grocery line. But you have to deal with all types of people. But if you are guarded in your mind, you won't be disturbed mentally. You can be aggravated. You can be agitated, but not disturbed. Never let anybody get to the point where they disturb your spirit of your mind. That's why I gave you 2 Timothy. Because the spirit of your mind, you can't just renew your mind. You just can't get information. You got to be able to keep your mind stable under pressure. If you're going, thank you so much for the flowers. Come through then. All right now. A lot of times people don't understand. It is so important that we learn how to deal with things up under pressure and not lose our marbles. Yeah, Miss Marston, hello, son. Why is that important? Because when you're sick, you still have to keep your mind stayed on the Lord, that He can keep you in perfect peace. That's easier said than done. So God gives us tools. Now, you may not personally have to use the tools that I use, but there are certain things that you can use to keep your mind focused. A lot of people, now I'm not a big drinker, but I tell people sometimes you have to calm yourself down with a nice glass of wine. Thank you, Brother Mario, for the disco ball. You got to be able to mentally navigate the foolery. I don't care how tough it is. Our mind's supposed to be renewed daily so that we are able to mentally have the mental agility to do what we need to do when it comes to people, places, and things. A lot of the goals that you may have in front of you may not be won by just the standard of way of thinking. When I went to college, one of the classes that I loved to be in was critical thinking. Critical thinking allows you to think outside the box. A lot of us do not use our creativity to allow us to come up with solutions in our lives. And most of us go by a template. What I mean by template, something that your parents did or whoever raised you or who you seen do, because that may have worked for them, but you might be dealing with something that you need to think outside of the box. You may need other mental tools or be inspired to see from a different perspective or a different horizon. Like if you get on an elevator, you start on the base floor. You look at the ground. It looks one way. You get in the elevator, you go to the top of that floor and you get on the roof and you look down at the ground. It looks totally different. Angles matter. How you perceive a thing matters. If you get on top of the mountain don't look so big. But if you're at the foot of the mountain, it looks big. One of the things that I try to teach people, I use the concept mentally. I tell them, I said, the goal is to get to $1. Some people only have a penny. So they need 99 more pennies to get to $1, but they can get there. Some people have a nickel. And so therefore they need 20 to get to $1. Some people have a dime. So they need 9 more to get to $1. Some people have a quarter. So they need 3 more to get to $1. Which at the end of the day, no matter what path or journey we go down, we can still get there. But if I look at your penny, and because you need 99 more, I think I'm better because I got a quarter. And at the end of the day, we all trying to reach the same goal. We trying to reach for that prize of the high calling, which is in Christ Jesus. It doesn't matter the path. That's what I mean by being mentally being mentally sober. In your life, can you be around chaotic people and yet have peace of mind? Can you stay focused on your goal? Can you stay driven on your aspiration? Can you minister to people that do not understand what you're saying? A lot of times I've seen it. It's not happened to me when I was a lot younger in this thing. You lose your cool. You get so disturbed because things are not going your way. Now you start doubting because now you're not understanding how this really works. Because many of us do not protect our mind. I, Apostle Samuel Jr., I do different things every single day to protect my mind, to keep the spirit of my mind sober. Because things will happen in your life that can literally shake the very foundation of your state of being, your state of thinking. Everything you thought was real, everything you thought was on the up and up. My son is in here in my life. The day that they found out that Santa Claus wasn't real was devastating to them when they were kids. I'm going to say that again. There are certain things that you believe in that may not be true. But it's not your time to come out of the matrix. There are things in your life that if you think about what's going on, that you don't have the mental gymnastics to overcome, because all you know how to do is when you disagree with something, to argue, to combat somebody. You can't sit back and be open-minded and say, you know what? Let me give that a try, like I did with the bagel. Because just because you don't see how it works or see that it's able to help somebody, first try it. You don't have to purchase it from me. Go online. Go order from Amazon. You don't have to order this, but you can order some pine oil. Or go to the grocery store and get a Glade and get a certain fragrance and see how the aromatherapy affects your state of being. Let me tell y'all something. They have a commercial say about wasting. What does it say? A terrible mind. To waste a mind, basically. When you don't understand what you're after and you can't communicate it because you're mentally blocked. You know you're upset, but you cannot mentally communicate it. Scorpio in the house, thank you so much. This is why something like this would be important. If you come in my life, make sure that you are 18 years or older, okay? That's all I ask. Throw out your zodiac sign and mental illness. The reason why I want to talk about this is because a lot of times you have tools that are being offered to you and you don't see a need. When you can't even communicate with the people, yeah, mine is a terrible thing to wait. Thank you so much, Brother Johnny. Thank you. If you do not understand that it is important for you to have mental sanity, more so than having money, a house, a car, mental sanity, that you're not disturbed because you have believed lies. I watch people live with certain lies, and then when they find out the truth, it devastates them till they shut down mentally, emotionally, and eventually it starts affecting their health. If nobody is telling you that mental health is important, then why would you protect it? Many of us are being raised up and, when I came up in my house, go to school, and if you get kids, be a good father. Depending on what information you were given, that's what's at the forefront of your mind. It don't mean that's the only thing that should be at the forefront of your mind, but based on who taught you, who trained you, there's certain things that have more priority in your life than others. All I'm telling you is that once you understand that your state of mind is important, there are certain things that you, loving yourself, will start doing to not only protect your mind, but also strengthen your mind. That you will be able to deal with certain pressures that may come up in your life. When the account, I remember my bank account being in a deficit of $5,000 overdrawn. It did not mentally disturb me because I had met greater challenges. And God moved and brought me out of negative, brought me into the positive. I didn't have to get my account closed. I just want to tell you, there's certain things that happened to my children that I wasn't mentally shaken. There's things that happen in my church around people when they're going to court, or they're dealing with an illness, or they're dealing with family trouble. They're mentally shaken because they are not protecting their mental well-being. I'm not trying to get you to do anything. I'm trying to get you to sit down and think rationally, sober-minded, and say, is that important to protect my state of mind? Doesn't matter who I congregate. Some of you got goals and dreams, and you're trying to accomplish certain things, and you will go around mentally poisoning people, and they're going to down what you're doing. They're going to speak negative of it, and you don't have no kind of protection around your aura or your mind. And now you went from believing God can do anything, now you feeling like, well, maybe it ain't meant to be. Because you don't have mental protection. When people can penetrate your mental state, there is no protection. You need to guard your mind. When you go out here in this world doing whatever it is that you do, hear this. That's all I'm trying to tell you. That your mental stability is important. Your mental stability is important. And if you can't deal with the pressures that life brings, you're going to find yourself in a place making rash decisions, double-minded decisions. This is why people end up killing people. When they can't see their way out, they either kill the person or kill themselves because mentally they can't see beyond what they're in. If you don't believe that it's important to rebuke the spirit of insanity, and a lot of times you don't have enough ashe or energy or power in your word. And sometimes mentally you have been destroyed by your own family. So you need to be healed mentally. This is why I practice certain spirituality. Going postal, exactly. I see this. Certain people can't even heal their relationship because they can't mentally bring themselves to the place of apologizing. Because in their mind, they see apologize as being something weak. Depending on what your perception is in your mind, if you don't renew your mind, if you don't challenge the way you think, and you're not casting down those imaginations, then you find yourself in a place where you could really overcome that situation. You could really will yourself to victory. But because of your mental state, and you have been weakened by the company you keep, by the people that you associate with yourself. For years when I was young, I thought white people couldn't cook. Until I started hanging around other people. And I started eating. We all come from prejudiced ideas. This is what I'm talking about, the mind. What's right now going on in your life? What's going on in your life right now that because of the way that you think, that is hindering you from getting what you're praying for? What's going on in your life right now that you are shaky and you're wavering? And you ain't 100. Nobody else got to know. But you know you're not 100% convinced. You're not fully persuaded in your mind that you can get this done. How do you get to a well place? How do you get to a place, a state of mind that you can believe God can do anything but fail? Do you believe that as a Sagittarius that you have enough optimism? Do you believe as a Pisces, because belief is about Pisces? Do you believe that you, as a Capricorn, can you utilize whatever God has at your disposal? As a Libra, can you balance the equation and come up with the necessary formula in your mind to accomplish your goal? As a Cancer, are you in a place where you believe that you have the capacity to nourish and create what you need in order to manifest what you need? Can you nurture and harness your energy and bring to pass what you desire? Each person has a certain energy and a certain mentality of thinking, and how they think affects how they manifest. How they think affects who they associate with. If you don't think mental health is important and to protect your mind, then I promise you there's going to be some trials that are going to shake the very fiber of your being. When I got on TikTok, on YouTube and the social media, I already knew that everybody wasn't agreeing with me. I'm fine with that. There's some things you have to confront with a sober way of thinking, that everybody ain't gonna like how I sing. Everybody ain't gonna like my food. Everybody ain't gonna wanna love me. Everybody is not gonna wanna support me. And it's okay. That's sober. Sober is saying, you know what? She has a right to be upset with me. Sober is, he has a right to be upset with me. Sober thinking is being rational and saying, you know what? They got a point. I did come off them at the wrong way. Sober is, if I want a paycheck at the end of the week, I need to work. Sober-minded is understanding that other people have a right to walk their life the way that they want to. Because at the end of the day, you're doing exactly what you want to do with your life. That's sober. Sober, cool, calm, and collected, and understanding that it takes all these people, it takes all these trials, it takes all these situations to make you renew your mind. Many of us don't take out our time to study, to show ourselves approved. And so when we're challenged with information, we strike out in anger. That's why I was telling you all about these lives and stuff. We have to learn how to deal with combative people, because the only thing that they know how to do when people disagree with what comes out of their mouth is to get indignant, nasty, and ugly. That's all they know how to do. That is the extent of their mental capacity. If you not listening at me don't work, then I become vile. That's the state of their mind. That's the state of their thinking. That's not your problem. I'm going to say that again. That's not your problem. That's their problem. What you have a responsibility is, do not allow them to disturb the peace of your mind. To not to disturb what is flowing in your mind, the spirit of your mind. Because I have been able to endure hardness as a good soldier. I have collided with smarter people. Huh? When you want to accomplish something, you will start utilizing certain tools to say, okay, God, I need to stay focused. So let me go get my crystal, or let me make sure I got on my, every day I walk out, I have on my crystals. I have on my anoint myself. I have a candle burning, and I get in my car. I light my incense, and I go out my day. I speak, I declare, I affirm. Let me tell you something. When you want to be manifest being mentally sober, you will do whatever you need to do to keep your state of mind at peace. Because you are at your best when you are mentally focused. You are at your best when you can keep a stream of thoughts flowing in your mind. When you want to accomplish, let me tell you something. It got to mean something to you. This is why I tell people, are you fully persuaded? Are you ready to take on this challenge? Because when setbacks come, it cannot disturb you. Because I don't care how much you want to accomplish certain things in your life. Everybody gonna have setbacks. But can you mentally deal with it? When you find out your husband cheating, when you find out your wife cheating, when you find out your kids stealing from you, because if in your mind you done created this fantasy that everybody love you and everybody want to be for you, and then when that get disturbed because you're not seeing through the eyes of God, you're not seeing the truth. I said this yesterday, and I'm gonna say this again. I'm gonna show you how focused Christ was. The scripture says it like that: when you were yet my enemy, I died for you. When Jesus sat at the table with Judas and all the other disciples, he knew that each one of those disciples were going to deny him in a different way, in a different fashion. Do you know how mentally strong you got to be? To know that the people that you are dying for and you doing all this for, they're going to benefit from the work, and you still do it? I had to be honest with myself. I said, Lord, I ain't got there yet. Mentally knowing that these people, if you knew that this person was going to do X, Y, Z to you, could you still treat them as a friend? At no time at that table did Jesus call them a devil. At no time did he call them a demon. He even said, are you going to allow? Exactly. At no time. He did say, why you are letting Satan use you. But he didn't call Judas the devil. He didn't call Peter the devil, because that's what we do. When we get mentally disturbed, then we go on the attack with our mouth. But Jesus was able to know his purpose. He was able to finish his course with a sober mind, understanding the frailty of man. He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. These are straight. That's when they say the mind of Christ. Many of us know we ain't at that mental state of capacity of peace, that we can know that somebody gonna betray us, and yet let them sop out of our plate. Jesus said, the one that sop with me gonna betray me. You know what we would have did mentally? Thank you so much for the confetti. We would have picked up that plate and knocked the hell out of Judas. If God gave you a dream tonight that somebody was going to betray you, wouldn't you change the way you think about them? The answer, I said before you, you would. Because you don't understand that people play a part in your success. Because you don't understand the mind of God, so you don't understand why you got to go through certain things. And you want everybody to believe that you're spiritual. You're not. You will be shocked of the thing that God would do and to bring certain things to pass in your life. Especially when you say, oh Lord, clean my heart. Lord, I want to be closer to you. Really? What if getting closer to God means to go to jail? What if getting closer to God, like he told Ezekiel to eat dung? Because a lot of you talking about you want to be used by God, but what if he speaks certain things to you in your mind? You're like, oh, that ain't God. Yes, it's in the Bible. The man of God, the prophet of God had to eat doo-doo. Yes, he did. And he was instructed by the Lord to do it. Are you mentally strong enough that if God gives you a vision like Noah, and tell you it's going to rain, and nobody ever seen rain, would you be mentally strong enough to endure until God actually calls it to rain? Because sometimes the Spirit speaks to you, and it doesn't happen right away. Sometimes God going to bless you with a house, or bless you with things, or bless you with things. It don't happen right away, and other people heard the prophecy. But now because it ain't came to pass, you done got shaken mentally. That's why this is important. You have to do what you have to do to keep your mental sanity, being sober-minded and understand, say, you know what? From the time that Joseph had the dream until the time it actually was fulfilled, it was many years later. Before Joseph's dream came to pass, he had to went to prison twice. Are you mentally strong enough to go through that? You believe all these things that God can do, but you're not understanding how the mind of God works. He don't move like you move. He don't operate like he can use anything and anybody at any time to do anything. But in your mind, that ain't how I was raised. It still don't stop him from being God, because he says, let this mind be in you was also in Christ Jesus. I'm going to ask you another question. Since you say you're mentally sober. When the disciples said that after teaching the people, Jesus been teaching the people all day, the disciple told Jesus, said, you know what? These people are hungry. They need to be fed. That's what the disciple told Jesus. You know what Jesus said? Tell that lad to bring me his meal. Now, what was going on mentally with the disciples? Jesus see all these people out here and they need to be fed, and he gonna ask for a child's meal? Where's your state of mind when you asking God to do certain things? Because it don't make no sense to you. So Jesus took the last meal and he lifted it before the Lord and he blessed it. And there was not only enough to feed the 5,000, but they had leftovers. That's the mind of God. Because God don't need what you need. The mind of God don't need what you need. You need that. That's why when he wanted to set the people, his people free from Egypt, all Moses needed was a stick. See, you need more than that in your mind. See, when God wanted David to defeat Goliath, all he needed was a slingshot. But in your mind, you would have never walked out there like that. So don't tell me that you're sober-minded, because you don't understand the mind of God. And you don't understand that God don't need what you need. Because in your mind, you would have needed a tank. You would have never stepped up to certain things the way that other people did. You would have said, I know people preach and teach about Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, but how many people mentally would have told the king that they weren't going to bow down and kiss the golden image because he got a fiery furnace back there? Mentally, you couldn't have done that. Because all I got to do is get a lighter right now and put this on you. And you'll start talking. You'll be kissing the booty of that golden calf, because you ain't mentally strong like that. We make that certain declarations and say, if I die, let me die and die in the arm of the Lord. But you ain't trying to die because you ain't mentally strong like that. We have to get to that point, and the only way we're going to get to that point is that we practice certain things, and we practice dealing with other people and being challenged in our belief, being challenged in our gifting, stretching our measure, allowing ourselves to see God in a greater way. Stop putting limits on God. Stop just saying it's only one way that this man can move when he's a many-breasted one. Some people call him the El Shaddai. Some people call him the Elohim. Some people call him Allah. He has many names. He has many names. And let me tell y'all something that are in Christianity. Jesus Christ never taught anybody to pray to him. He said, anything you ask the Father in my name, that will he do. That's exactly what the scripture says. It never told you to pray to Jesus. That's what you do. Because you lack the understanding of the mind of God. Christ's mind is understanding that God feels all things. In your mind, if your taxes would do like Jesus' taxes would do, would you do what Jesus did? He sent Peter down to the river to get money out of the mouth of a fish. Would you have done that? Because you don't think like that. But you say you sober-minded. You say you have the mind of Christ. You don't have the mind of Christ. God can use anything. He took spittle and took the earth, and he restored the sight of the blind man. You don't think like that. You do not think like that. And the only way we're going to grow in our way of thinking is we start acknowledging our mental limitations. You can't just think that you're going to burn a candle and it's going to fix everything. That's not sober thinking. You can't just think because you drank a milkshake that you're going to get muscles tomorrow. Just because you worked out 2 days a week and you only did it for 2 weeks, that you're going to be this rock hard person. It don't work like that. Sober-minded people don't think like that. They know they got to put the energy. They know they got to put the work in. They know they got to apply themselves. But a lot of people think that they are manifesting a sober mind, and they're manifesting a double-minded man. They're manifesting delusions. And they want everybody to accept those delusions. And people are waking up. Those that are becoming enlightened in their mind, the spirit of their mind is waking up and understanding and taking in what God is saying. And they're moving in that direction, whether you agree with it or not. Learn how to manifest sober-minded thinking in chaos, in confusion, and realize that has no reflection on you. Somebody's being unstable in their way has nothing to do with you. What you need to do is be protecting your mind. You can burn clothes. I bought I didn't buy this particular one, but I did buy one. I use this sometimes. Most Christians are faking it and not making it. Exactly. I use this sometimes to pray for people and put certain things in it to give them mental stability. Let me tell y'all something. There's certain stress out there, because anybody that works in the medical field tell you that stress kills. A lot of us are not mentally strong, and we bow down to peer pressure. Whether you want to admit it or not, sir, ma'am, you cannot even want to say nothing nasty to that person. But because your friend did it, you do it. That's weak-minded. You don't want to admit that you don't have enough spiritual strength in your mind to make your own decision. You go along with the pack. A lot of people don't want to admit these things. This is why I'm doing this live. Because if you can't admit that in certain areas of your life you struggle mentally, you struggle loving yourself, you say it, but you do struggle in loving yourself. You do want to have faith, but you struggle with having faith. You want to trust people, but you struggle in trusting people. You need help. You want to be a good steward with your finances, but you struggle with maintaining your money. It don't matter how much money you make. You just struggle. You mentally just cannot do right by yourself without some help. Mentally, no matter how good that man or woman treats you, you're so hell-bent on, but they're going to hurt me. Because in your mind, because you double-minded, you are in delusions, and you're still traumatized mentally by what happened in your past. You are continuously messing up your life. Can you at least admit that you have had some situation that you have not been mentally healed, and it keeps reoccurring, and you keep playing it out with different people, places, and things? You're going to find an enemy. You're going to find a reason to have a fault, because the way that you think is disturbed. Everybody wants you. Oh, you can't turn to the left or the right. Everybody wants you. You're mentally disturbed because everybody don't want you. You're mentally disturbed. Oh, they only doing that to me because I'm gay. You're mentally disturbed. You got a problem with you being gay. You got a problem with you being bi. You got a problem with you being a hoe. Because if you are fully persuaded and this is what I am and like it or leave it, then it don't matter what other people think. Once again, you need spiritual protection of your mind, because the only person that needs to be persuaded about whatever it is that you live or do is you. People cannot make or break you unless you don't have a strong mind. I see it every day. We got this saying when I growed up, monkey see, monkey do. When one person do it, the other person do it. They ain't even doing it because they think that way. They was peer pressured into doing it because they're weak-minded. I remember being with my sons. We went to I think that was Disney World, and they were about to get on this, I think, Typhoon or some kind of roller coaster at Disney World. And one of my oldest sons looked at me and said, "Dad, this little girl getting," because I don't do roller coasters. I don't do roller coasters. So they're like, "Dad, this little girl getting on the roller coaster. You gonna let her outdo you?" I said, "Let that little girl get on it, because I ain't getting on it. Because I know what I said, you cannot intimidate me. Do you not know that men and women mentally intimidate y'all into doing stuff that you don't want to do?" I would not let my son use that little girl to make me, knowing that my stomach can't handle that roller coaster, to get my behind on that roller coaster. No, sir. Dad, look at that. She got the stomach for it. Are you mentally strong enough to not allow somebody to talk you into something that you know where you are in your life? Huh? There you go, Mr. That's what I'm talking about, huh? I know some of you all sitting there saying, "Oh no, I did it." No, you didn't. People talk people into stuff all day long. People go to school to learn how to talk people into stuff, because they know that if you wear on a person's mind long enough, that they are bent. You done told them not to come over. You done told her not to come over, and they still talk you into coming over. Because I done it. When you are not mentally strong, you will be surprised what you are susceptible to. When you are not mentally strong, there are certain things that if you don't get out that situation in time enough, you're going to succumb to the influence. They got this old saying that you can only go to the barber shop only so long before you get a haircut. Some of y'all know. Some of y'all say, "Oh, I'm strong. I got delivered from XYZ." You ain't delivered from that until you can be in the company of that in spite of it. You running away from what you tempted at ain't being mentally strong. You just getting out of sight, out of mind. But don't mean you ain't craving. We got to learn what we can do spiritually to help get our minds to a place that we are not influenced by television, by radio, by movies, by friends and family. We can't even love who we love because we're not mentally strong enough to get past our families. Y'all don't got to tell me. I deal with people all the time. I know a lot of people. I don't care how much you go to church. You can't even praise the Lord because you mentally disturbed by who next to you. You easily bothered. You're easily bothered. Your peace is easily moved. And depending on your zodiac sign, you ready to pop off. Let me tell y'all a secret. The greatest thing you can do to your mind is to tell yourself the truth. Tell the truth to yourself and get to know self and understand how your mind works. Mercury, how you communicate, how you talk, how your mind functions, what strengthens what helps you believe, what gives you the necessary mental fuel to get to your destination, what causes you to be deflated. Y'all hear me? What music is necessary for you to be mentally strong? Let me tell y'all something. When you love you enough, you will get around. If you got to go to the beach and put your head in the water every single day. If that's what it takes, ma'am, if that's what it takes, sir, then that's what you need to do, because you are the commodity. You are what's important. And if you don't know how to manifest a sober mind, you in trouble. Because this world got something for you. Some of you left the house in a good mood and drove down the road and the neighbor got you going. You ain't even got to work. The neighbor came out there with that foolishness and you done snapped. Your peace have been disturbed just that quick. And don't get mad at them. Say, Lord, thank you for the test. You just showed me my protection wasn't strong enough. Every time you are not able to go through a trial with your mind focused, that's letting you know that you need more protection. You need to do more than what you're doing. Can you at least admit, even if you're not as easily to be disturbed, do you know when you are at that breaking point mentally? When do you know when it's time for you to mentally back off? When do you know that mentally you're up under too much pressure? You got to relieve that pressure. Because that's you. You need to know that. You need to know your measure of your spirit, of your mind. How much pressure can your mind take? The Bible talks about manifold. You can have 3 to 6 to sometimes 12 things going on at one time. I got a phone call today. They want me to do a memorial service for a dog. Y'all be surprised how mentally I have to adjust myself to deal with people and their things. People be wanting me to pray for all kind of stuff. Some stuff I be like, wait a minute, say that again. What did you just ask me? Mentally, I got to wrap my mind. Mentally, I have to wrap my mind because everybody's different. When you talking about you're a minister and people ask me why you do this, because I am dealing, I had an email, somebody contacted me from Jamaica. Everybody's different. I can't just get on the TikTok because there are going to be different people that see my video from different walks of life. I can't just minister to one type of person. I got to be able to mentally adjust to different types of people that would need to hear the same universal information. I don't care what your belief system, I don't care what race you are, I don't care if you gay, straight, or bi, you still need to manifest a sober mind. Be okay with you. What do you need to calm your mind down? What do you need to stimulate your mind? What do you need to refocus your mind? What do you need to be able to concentrate and focus on one thing? You need to know all this about your mental agility. This is why I use the word, some people are mentally challenged. They cannot think outside of their environment. They cannot think outside of what somebody showed them, taught them. They have the inability to reach outside and see creative thinking. As my teacher would say, create a critical thinking. They cannot amass to a place and say, you know what? There are other tools that I can utilize to get to a certain place in my life. No, I was taught. No, I ain't never seen that before. No. But are you good mentally? While you saying what ain't God, are you good mentally? While you saying what God won't use, are you good mentally? Can you peacefully disagree with anybody? Can you be around somebody that like same sex? Can you be around somebody that's always making jokes? Do the personality of somebody disturb you so much that you cannot even focus? Can you be around somebody that's loud like me? I'm a Sagittarian. I'm out there. Some people, I annoy them. They say, he's so loud. Because they're quiet. Don't let me disturb your peace. Don't let me disturb, because I ain't letting you disturb mine. Are we at that place where we can manifest and utilize tools to keep us at a place where we can logically think, come up with solutions, deal with people that do not agree with us, deal with people that do agree with us? How about dealing with people that do things very differently than us? Deal with people that have less money. Deal with people that have more money. Deal with people that have more resources, less resources. Because you're going to have different variations in your life dealing with people, places, and things. And if you are truly in the mind of God, if y'all really believe in the mind of Christ, Christ was able to deal with all types of people in all types of situations. He even called one lady a dog. People constantly talking about what Christ won't do. Christ walked into the church, started whooping ass. Took that whip. Christ. When you think about your state of mind, do you really have the ability to believe God is a protector? Do you really have the mental capacity to believe that God can deliver you? Do you have the mental ability to believe that God can influence the judge? Because you know what? I'm going to say this again. I started with this. If I can't believe that God can help my mind, how do I believe that God can help your mind? If I can't learn how to work with my own spirit or my own mind, how am I going to bring you to a state of peace? How are you going to join your life with somebody else when you don't even have a peace of mind? Because all you're going to do is disturb their peace. Or if you can't, you're going to keep trying until you get them acting just like you. Because that's what other people do. And when they in chaos, they don't stop until they try to get everybody, because misery loves company. They don't stop until they can try to get everybody in a state of confusion and chaos. And you got to have enough peace in your mind to overcome that vibration, to overcome that energy, to overcome that situation. This is why this is important. Huh? Why Apostle Ely talk and tell you all this? Because I want y'all to see me to go even on TikTok. I want y'all to see me mentally go through things with people and see how I overcome and how I stay rooted and grounded in my personal truth and my personal power, whether people agree with me or not. Because you're going to have to learn how to have that same mind. And if you want to be a person that help people and love people, you're going to have to deal with people where they are. Everybody ain't going to come where you at. You're going to have to be able to mentally deal with certain people. I get frustrated myself with people that take their time. Because I'm a fire sign. I'm like this. I like things moving. Thank you so much. Oh, you showing out here with the roses. I didn't even know they had roses. Thank you for the gift. Diamond. Make sure, and let me tell y'all something. Make sure you're following those people that remain in this live. Because at the end of the day, I appreciate everyone, even after I've shown you what I practice and the things that I use. If you choose not to use anything that I am practicing, at the end of the day, you still need to learn how to keep your mind sober. And whatever you need to do, and whatever you need to grow in mentally, educating yourself, getting the information necessary to be strong. Oh, this is what we're doing. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that. Y'all is showing some love. I appreciate that. Let me tell y'all something. Apostle Ely comes here with the sole intent of sharing knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. What I don't do is tell people how to live their life. I don't do that. What I do is give people the information. Because that's why I don't want children in my life. Because I believe that grown people make their own decisions. I believe that grown people make their own decision. And you should be committed to the decision that you make, whatever that may be. Ma'am, whatever that may be, sir. And you should not have to have the approval of other people how you choose to practice your spirituality. I'm not looking for approval. What I am asking you to do is somewhere in your own spirit of your mind, start asking yourself some real questions. Am I able to maintain peace around chaos? Am I able to deal with people that are mentally challenged? Am I able to deal with somebody that's double-minded without becoming double-minded myself? Can I go around people that don't want anything in life and I still have the mindset to want to have something in life? If you got it like that, you are in a great place. But most people that I have counseled, most people that I deal with, their spirit of their mind is not protected like that. And that's why I'm doing this live. This is why I tell you about my mental clarity. Before you go into that board meeting, you need to burn you some incense or anoint your head with a oil that has been blessed to make sure that you are mentally clear. You need to make you need to have ocean water in your office. Or you need to listen to a certain meditation. Whatever gonna get you to the place that you can perform. Sometimes many of y'all, even when it comes to being intimate, you can't even enjoy your spouse. You can't enjoy your mate because you're mentally disturbed about what happened that day. You got to learn. You got to be in the here and now to be still. You still wife, you still spouse, you still significant other, you still whatever you are to that person. You have to bring your mind into a place of peace so you can think, oh, y'all are showing out with y'all gifts. Remember, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, and I want to say this as well, thank everybody that subscribed to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000. Y'all have been doing a great job at promoting my lives and promoting my YouTube channel and getting this information out. I hope that those that stuck around long enough to hear me out, to understand that there's many methods to my madness. But if you want to really follow me and understand me, you have to watch Karate Kid. Because I think that way they style that movie really helps people to see into the way that I look at life and how I utilize the information. Thank you so much, J111. I really, really appreciate the love. And I really appreciate you guys for coming in and showing this type of love. Because let me tell you, thank you for the money bags. Thank you for the gifts. Where my girl at? Right here. Dominica Creation Spa. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. You are showing so much love in this. I just want to give some shout outs for those that have been staying in this live and those that be watching and viewing. Your mental sanity is important, but I cannot make you maintain it. I can't make you do right by no different in any aspect of your life. But what I can do, anybody that hears this information that will understand there are things that you can utilize. And there's people that have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding how to help protect your mental state. Thank you so much, Jay. _Jay. Thank you so very much. I really want you to understand why this is important. Because we're living in a time that people are disturbed. People are saying the most crazy stuff and they're killing people. They're doing all kind of stuff because they're deranged. And a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And when you can hate people that you don't even know, that's a mental illness. When somebody can cause you to hurt somebody that did absolutely nothing to you, that's a mental issue. And you need some protection. Because guess what? I go around people all the time. I ask God to protect me because I don't know what's going on in their membrane. And I need that energy to stay away from me. I don't need them thoughts coming to it, and that's why I do what I do. Because some of you all might be sitting right next to somebody talking about blowing their brains. I remember my son telling me he was right. You so bad, right? Yeah, I had my son was telling me about a situation. I had a member of my church because she couldn't get a man, and she couldn't get and it didn't work out the way. And she was picking him up in the church van and driving down the road and mentally said out of her own mouth what she was thinking. Say, I feel like killing myself. My son said, not with me in here. You can be around somebody that is contemplating suicide and you don't even know it. You can have somebody around you thinking about blowing out your brain and you wouldn't even know it. That's why protection is important. And just talking about I'm covered by the blood of Jesus. If that was the case, a lot of stuff would not be going on in the world. You know how many people all over the United States have pleaded the blood of Jesus, and there is so much evil going on. And it's not the devil, it's people. Their mental mind. People have believed that somebody's out to get them. When somebody think that way, somebody always looking at somebody as an enemy, you are mentally disturbed. Everybody is not your enemy. Everybody ain't coming for your woman. Think about somebody that think that you're going to do to them the way they did you. Most people don't, some people don't even know that they can come back to my church. And the only reason why they don't come back to my church is for this reason. They think I'm going to treat them the way they treated me. That's their mental way of thinking. So they rather avoid getting help instead of getting help. Because mentally, if you are racist, if you are a bully, you think everybody else want to bully you too. You're doing that from a place of fear. You're not doing that from a place of strength. What did that person do to you? What's going on mentally with you that somebody's not even bothering you? You're not going to practice what I practice. You're not going to do what I do. and you're going to continue to live your life the way you do, then why disturb the peace? Because something's going on up there that's not right. Your mind is not meant to be protected. People listening to all these radio talk shows and stuff. Some of you all, even when you turn your television off, because your mind is a satellite, that television is still sending out signals. That laptop, those computer, they're still sending out signals. The wires that's around our home, they're sending out vibrations. These are the reason why I have shungite and different things to counterbalance and keep what I'm doing at peace. So I don't get disturbed, that I don't get distorted, that I don't get confused. When people cast spells and trying to confuse my relationships or throwing chaos around me, I'm protected. It bounces off, it reverses, it goes back to the sender. This is what I mean when I'm saying manifest the spirit of a sober mind. If being cool, calm, and collected will help you win people. Because what about if someone is bullying my dog because I did something wrong to them? Let me say this. And I'm not telling you what to do because I don't give out advice. I'm going to say this. A lot of times we have to go and beg people pardon or ask questions because we fail to communicate. Like if my friend would have never opened up and said, well, Sam, have you ever had a bagel? Because I would have never went any further than saying, no, I don't want to eat that. We got to learn how to communicate to open the dialogue, given the opportunity, that then we can have a better understanding why somebody may feel a certain type of way or think a certain type of way. Because if we never ask, how are we going to get the answer? We just responding to what they're saying or doing. But sometimes if you just open up dialogue and listen here, and then if they're right, be man or woman enough to say, you know what, you're absolutely right. I do apologize. Don't just say, well, oh, they're doing this to me. Is there a probable cause? Did I make a certain action that warranted? And so two immature people are trying to have a mature conversation. Ain't gonna work. Somebody got to be sober-minded. Somebody got to say, you know what? Let me talk. Let's talk. Can we talk about this? Maybe just say, can we talk about this for 5 minutes? Depending on how heated it is. Because some conversation you shouldn't have when it's heated. Because you also have to use wisdom. When I'm dealing with people, places, and things, sometimes, because I'm a fire sign, so I'm quick at the mouth. So a lot of times people was like, why are you quiet? I ain't quiet because I ain't got nothing to say. I am quiet because I want to be guided in what I have to say. Even sometimes on this live, you'll see me that I stop because I'm trying to make sure that God gives me the right thing to say. I don't want to say the first thing out of my mouth because normally the first thing out of my mouth is going to be fiery, cutthroat. I'm just being honest. But I have learned over the time through the practices that I made to have a dialogue with people, ask questions. And some of y'all, if you really want to have a healthy relationship, you can't be talking about something, especially when it's somebody you're trying to have a relationship with. And I'm not talking about just a man and woman, I'm talking about friendships, business. So you need to be asking questions and you need to be able to be open to answer those questions. And stop thinking somebody's like, oh, they're trying to get pride into my personal. No, you're trying to have a healthy relationship, and people that's in a relationship with you need to have an understanding. That's why I personally tell people what I believe in. I want you to have a clear understanding when I talk and what I do and how I communicate. So you can make a decision as an adult whether you want to continue to listen to somebody like me or not. Because I'm not going to change. I'm not here to change. I'm here to grow and to expand. But I've seen the evidence of my belief and my spirituality. What I'm here to do tonight is to give us all the opportunity to ask our own self these questions. Am I sober-minded? And am I sober-minded in that area? Am I being realistic in what I'm expecting? Am I willing to put in the work? Because all of this is about sober-minded. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I also appreciate you giving me an opportunity so you can hear me out. You know, I have a lot of information on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out. But I do these lives because I'm trying to open people's mind. Because if you don't ask questions, me personally, I love other cultures. I love walking and I love asking questions. And I love making friends with other people that do things differently than myself. That's why I have grown as a person. I think you grow more by experimenting with other people. I don't become their culture. I just learn their culture, and then I build a bond and a relationship with them. Because I'm still authentically myself. But I love other people, and I love other people that have their own stories. Because a lot of times, and Hillary Clinton said this, sometimes when you start dialoguing and actually communicating, you might just find that we have more in common than you think. And a lot of times, if we can start from a place, a sober-minded place of saying, you know what? We all say we're trying to serve this God. But whatever God we're serving, it should not have all this chaos in it. It shouldn't have all this being nasty to one another, being disrespectful to one another, killing people, all in the name of God. There's something wrong with this. This is why I practice my protection, because I'm sober-minded enough to know that there are crazy people out there. There are people who will hate you just for the color of your skin. There will be people out there hate you just because of you being who you are. And you got to be smart enough in your wisdom to protect yourself. And that's what I'm doing tonight, showing people the things that I do and I utilize to protect myself. But I also saying that we got to learn how to deal with those people, because those people ain't going nowhere. You can't banish everybody. I done tried that. I'm going to tell you about casting people and banishing people. You're going to bring another person. They're going to have a different name. Because if it meant for you to have a trial with a person, you're going to have another trial with another person by a different name but same spirit. Because if your spirit, if God wants you to deal with something, you're going to deal with that one with it might not be Judas, it might be called Tyrone. It might be not Tyrone, it might be Timothy. But if there's certain things that you got to grow in and mature in, you're going to see that trial again. I don't care who you are. You cannot run from you. You cannot run from your destiny. And let me tell you this. All of our backgrounds are not pretty. Never, ever, I don't care how bad your background is. Never deny who you are. You cannot grow. You cannot heal. You cannot deal with the mental issues in your bloodline if you do not at first acknowledge that it is even there. You got to first acknowledge who you are, where you come from, before you can start dealing with anybody else. And that is a personal healing. And the only person that can start doing that is yourself. Huh? My mama's something else. My dad is something else. And so therefore I'm rather something else. Because I'm a Sag. My mom's a Virgo. My dad's a Cancer. I'm a Sag. 100. Y'all hear me? Sober-minded is not ignoring. Sober-minded is having the mental agility and having the resources and the tools to help you, to help your household. If you already got children, you already know how you don't deal well up under pressure. Especially during this pandemic, people were losing their crap because they had to stay in the house, because they had to wear a mask. You do not psycho you have to be disturbed that you just can't. Yes, it's inconvenient. A lot of stuff is inconvenient. Other people are being inconvenient every day. That don't bother you. But when you have to be inconvenienced, that bothers you. I remember one time driving down the road, got mad because I'm driving my truck, right? Somebody cut me off. I got mad, I shot him a bird. I did this. You're 18 years or younger, you can't be on my life. Right? Got mad because they cut me off. I didn't even go a mile down the road before I had turned around and cut somebody off. I said, I get it, Lord. I get it. Long as you doing to somebody else, you want mercy. But when you do it to somebody doing to you, you want judgment. That's an imbalance. Because what's good for the goose should be good for the gander. If you're not balanced in the way you thinking and fair, and that don't mean that we all see things the same way, but if you have certain codes for your life, if you don't want nobody in your yard, then you should respect the next man's yard. If you don't want nobody touching your husband, you shouldn't be touching somebody else's husband. If you want somebody to support you, you should support whatever your codes are. I can respect, even if I disagree with your codes, I can respect your codes if you are balanced in your thinking. But I have a problem with people that they only want it a certain type of way when it comes to them and who they love, but it's very different when it comes to what somebody else loves. Don't tell me about Christ when you can see the injustices that are done to all these races and creeds of people, and long as you ain't being treated that way, you cool with it. That's not Christ. And I'm not going. And I told people in 2021, God is going to cause strangers to be a blessing to you. God is going to cause strangers to be a blessing to you. People you know not of. And if you got certain mental hang-ups, how are you going to receive that when you have a perceived idea of people, places, and things? That's what I mean by even your mental state will keep you from being blessed, even when you're praying for it. Even when somebody trying to speak it over your life. Even when somebody trying to decree it over your life, you will reject it because mentally you can't accept something from somebody black, somebody Asian, somebody white, somebody this, somebody gay, somebody bi, somebody whatever, somebody poor. I told my kids this. I said, if a drunk man pull you out the road from getting run over, hit by a car or a truck, that drunk man may be a drunk man to all those other people that see him, but he to you is your savior. You got to be mentally strong to be good to those that are good to you in spite of how other people see them. I'm going to say that again. You need to be mentally strong enough to be good to the people that are good to you in spite of how other people perceive them. Are you mentally strong enough to tell somebody, that man, not that drunker, that man saved me? Some of y'all are embarrassed by the people that have helped you, but you accepted the help. But you will act like they don't exist. You're not mentally strong. You need some protection. You need to be mentally clear that God can use anybody to do anything He chooses or she chooses. And they don't have to believe like you believe. This God we say we serve, King of kings, Lord of lords, God without beginning, God without end. Don't be surprised. The very type of religion that you're rejecting may be where your deliverance is. Because it's strange to you don't mean it ain't of God. Because you don't do it don't mean it ain't of God. In our society, in America, we spend what we call our American dollars. But if you go to China, they got a different currency. So that means their currency ain't money because it don't look like ours? Of course not. Be sober-minded and open-minded to understand that there are different ways that this God we say we serving, this chi, this ashe, this energy, this power, this frequency, this vibration, this universal energy, this organ energy, it operates in very many facets, and it can take the form of anything it chooses. And it can work through anything. And we as a people, whether we like what each other do or not, have to be honest enough to realize that we should not be disturbing our mental peace because somebody sitting over there eating cat. I'm going to say that again. There are Asian people that eat cats. That don't make them inhumane because I eat chicken. Because somebody else's perception of what you chewing on and eating can be just as disgusting as what you perceive them to be doing. And we got to mentally get past that. There are going to be people out here doing certain things that you just don't do. And you don't have to ever do. But don't mean you can't benefit from it. If you're open-minded, if you're respectable. I don't teach people my practice because if you don't respect what I believe in and the ancestors that I work with and how I function in my spirituality, then two can't walk together except they agree. I'm sober-minded enough for you not to disturb what I'm doing, and I'm not going to disturb what you're doing because whatever you're doing may be working for you. And what I'm doing most certainly is working for me. So this is a possibility. If you have any questions, thank you so much for joining our live. Any questions? Concerns? We go live. Yeah, thank you, Monique. I just saw that. I do my lives on Saturday on YouTube. So if you subscribe to my channel on YouTube, we go live. I talk a lot of the subject matters. People send me emails and give me suggestions that they want to hear certain things. So I talk about a plethora of things. I deal with people. I don't come to talk to a sect of people. But I do deal with a lot of different people because a lot of people got a lot of different beliefs. So a lot of times you have to have the mental agility to be able to deal with diverse people with different levels and stages of belief system. And I'm cool with that. But I do go live. I don't do live on TikTok on Saturday. I go to YouTube. So thank you so very much. Thank you for everybody for joining our live. And I hope you got something out of it. God bless you all.